Do you count as a shockwave? I mean, I guess you do. Welcome to the parliament, I guess. I'm sorry, guys. I know this is very much away from our usual type of Sunday shockwave, but I just had to show this guy off. This is a custom shockwave that's built up using the Titan's Return misfire mold. Now, to give proper credit, I purchased this from a seller on eBay known as Dorkmanto. I'm going to have their channel description right here. And in terms of who actually made this, it was done by Cheetamus Prime quite a few years back. Cheetamus Prime used to be a massive name in the world of custom Transformers, slowed down immensely once we got to the 2020s, which is a shame because they were just incredible with what they could do. From what I understand, towards the end, they had some issues filling orders. I think that's possibly what kind of drove them into a little bit of burnout. And it's always so devastating to hear that because the people who can customize a toy like this to the point where it's hard to even realize that this is a kit bash, it's truly magical. And it's given me one of the most unique shockwaves in my entire collection. Looking at this shockwave, and it's unlike any other shockwave we've ever had, and yet it's kind of perfect. I could absolutely see this as an IDW Shockwave if maybe they ever really completely reinvented him the way they did some characters like, say, Bumblebee. I really like how this guy has turned out. And he's actually a combination of multiple figures. So, aside from 3D printed guns, you also have an upscale version of the Combiner Wars Legends class Shockwave head. The body is all, as I said, not Slugslinger, Triggerhappy. And then look at that gun hand. I looked at that gun hand in the listings. I was like, that's familiar. Where have I seen that gun hand? That's Alternator Shock Blast's gun hand. So there's actually like 3 or 4 different toys that are all contributing to making this guy what he is. And that's going beyond the beautiful paint job, the great sculpting. Like, you took a toy that was already great. Like, the Misfire mold is so good. But you've added so much new depth to it. I can't even tell it was the original guy. When I first saw this, I thought it was a 3D print of an entirely new design. And I think it is all the better for it. If I'm going to get a custom, I want something that Hasbro would never, ever, 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 ever do. And this, I don't know if they'd ever do anything quite like this. The head sculpt is great, just incredible. And as I said, this is a 3D printed upscale of a Legend Scale Shockwave head. Now, that is really remarkable. You can see there's just a little bit of paint splotches, a little bit of black paint over the yellow eye, but aside from that, very slight blemish. And to be honest, that's probably more from age and paint chipping off than any type of mispainting from Cheetamus Prime. It's just the best. It helps that they've added a little bit of bright pink there, which actually is giving you Shockwave's traditional chest design, but it's modernized. It looks something just perfect. That's what this figure is. For a custom, it is perfect. Exactly what I'd want. Going over some articulation now. There is a double ball joint in the head, but you can see it's very loose. Going down into the body, you have a universal here at the arm. You have an upper arm cut, a good single joint knee, which actually gets you a little bit past the 45. You actually have a wrist swivel here, and then the gun hand's actually on a ball joint hinge, but you can see it can come out pretty easily. So we're just going to pop that back in if we can. Oop, there we are. Nothing in the waist. Oh, now never mind. You have a waist swivel. Ball joint in the upper leg as well as an upper leg cut. The knees are very stiff, but they do go. And you down here, you can have both the front and the back of the foot go up and down. Incredible. Now, this guy is able to transform. I'm not going to do that because it would damage the paint. But the jet mode looks incredible. I'm putting a picture up here from the sold listing. I think it's a really nice looking Shockwave. I don't want to do it just because at that point you're risking damaging this figure, and it's a one of one. There's not another one of these Shockwaves out there in the universe. This is the only guy that looks just like this. And that's a big reason as to why I was willing to pick it up. When you have a piece like this, which is, it's artistry. This is the type of thing that there will only ever be this one. And I'm not making this video to show off, because I was really hesitant to make it. I was worried people would see this and think, oh, Ron Bond John's just trying to flaunt this. I'm not. I want to show off what I think is an incredibly well-made fan piece. I hate that there's not another one of these out there. I have a big rule usually that I don't review customs because I feel like it just makes people feel bad that they can't get a Shockwave or they can't get a toy that I'm showing off. But with all the things around this, between a seller that was actually very, very, very nice to work with, a artist that is pretty famous within the Transformers fan community, at least the older members of us, and a character that I like a lot, I just wanted to give a little bit of praise to this guy. Don't consider this a part of the canon Sunday Shockwave. This is more just a fun little dalliance so that I could talk about a character and a toy that I have an immense respect for. Cheesemas Prime was able to give me one of the most unique Shockwaves I have ever seen. And the one issue I have with this toy is that there's not more of him out there. I love this toy. I love this toy because it reminds me of my favorite part of Transformers. And I'm not saying this to be hokey, I'm not saying this to be, wow, what a nice guy, but it's real. My favorite part of Transformers isn't Transformers. My favorite part of Transformers isn't any book, or movie, or comic, or show, or toy line. My favorite part of Transformers is the fandom around Transformers. It is the excitement of the community. It's that just ever-present love that we all have for big dumb robots. And it's the artists that make this so special. The people who draw Transformers, the people who write the stories, the people who would make customs. That's the reason why I'm so happy to own this guy. I don't own a custom Transformer. I own a piece of art that a person who loves Transformers made. And they made it lovingly. It is a terrific custom. And I make this video, again, not because I want to show it off, not because I want to brag. I'm making it because I want to celebrate all the artists here within our community. Because I know a lot of you watching this. You guys make your own figures, you guys make your own art, you guys make your own videos. And I just want to say right here, right now, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep making your art. As long as it makes you happy. Regardless if you have 1,000 people who see it or one person who sees it, you keep doing it. Because the world's a better place for having your art in it.